Hello, friends. Let me take you on a journey about a young woman named Clara, who learned the secret to overcoming her fear of failure in the most unexpected way. Clara lived in a bustling city filled with opportunities, but she constantly felt held back by a shadow of doubt. She wanted to open her own art studio, a dream she'd nurtured since childhood, but the fear of failure kept her from taking the first step. What if nobody likes my work? What if I can't make enough money? What if I fail? These questions haunted her every night. One day, while browsing a local bookshop, Clara stumbled upon an old, dusty book titled, The Journey Within. The title intrigued her, so she bought it and began reading that evening. The book shared a simple yet powerful idea. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path to success. Curious but still skeptical, Clara decided to visit the author, whose address was scribbled in the back of the book. The next day, she took a train to a quiet countryside village where she met Mr. Dawson, an elderly man with a warm smile and a peaceful demeanor. Mr. Dawson greeted Clara and listened patiently as she poured out her fears and frustrations. He then handed her a small clay pot. "This," he said, "is my most prized possession. It's the first pot I ever made." Clara examined it closely and noticed it was full of cracks and imperfections. "But it's broken," she exclaimed. Mr. Dawson chuckled. "Exactly. When I made it, I was so embarrassed by its flaws that I almost quit pottery altogether. But then I realized those cracks were proof that I had tried. Every mistake I made taught me something new. And with each attempt, my work improved. Now, people pay thousands for my creations, but this pot reminds me of where I started." Clara was struck by his words. The cracks weren't failures, they were lessons. On her way home, she made a decision. Instead of fearing failure, she would embrace it as a teacher. The very next week, Clara rented a small space and began painting. Her first few pieces were far from perfect, but she displayed them proudly. To her surprise, people began to notice. A local cafe owner asked to display her work. An art collector invited her to showcase her pieces at a small gallery. Each step wasn't without challenges, but Clara faced them with courage, knowing failure was part of the journey. Years later, Clara's art studio became one of the most popular in the city. Whenever someone asked her about her secret to success, she would smile and say, "Don't fear failure, it's just a step closer to where you are meant to be." And so, my friends, remember Clara's story. Fear of failure only has power if you let it hold you back. Embrace your cracks and imperfections. They're the marks of growth and perseverance. Thank you for listening.